I didn't have time to do separate videos for all these things, so we're going to cram it all into one video, chock full with all of the information about the fusion that you need, as well as my shard pulls. One epic video, and hopefully I can keep it short too. Oh, what's up guys, MtgJedi here. How you doing today? If you are not interested in my opinions on the fusion or my sweet calendar breakdown, which actually took me way too long, so please watch it, you can skip ahead. I'm gonna do the shard pulls at the end of the video, okay? But for now, I really want to just briefly mention my thoughts on this fusion because so many people keep asking me, okay? And so I want to put that in here at the beginning of the video. So let's go look at him and break it down. All right, so we have Timit the Fool here, and I guess he's supposed to be the court jester of the Bannerlords. I'm still pretty confused about why he's not Knights Revenant or on literally, I don't know, you could justify him in so many other factions. I would have loved to see him be Ogren, but regardless of the fact, he's a Bannerlord. Now we have 5,000 more Bannerlords. The A1, I think, has merit. If I actually get around to recording my video on him, I will show off the power of his A1. I think that it's reasonable, but definitely it should be better, and I'll address that in the video if I have time to make it. This is the main thing about his kit, okay? Decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns. I like this, but I don't know if this is enough for putting a champion in your team. Like, on the one hand, Madame Saris does the buff strip, decrease defense, and decrease attack. That's the only reason we use her, and then she does nothing else in the team. That's kind of the same thing here, right? He strips all of the enemy buffs without proccing the sheep. And then he has a 50-50 chance to get Stone Skin. So, that might be good enough. I'm just saying, that might be good enough. He's an HP-based champion. And then we have this here. He places a True Fear on all enemies for 1 turn. So, after you strip them, he does have some use here in, like, placing the True Fear. I kind of would like to see, so, like, he gets the extra turn if you play Kaja, but I also don't like her. That's me personally. If you want to see them together, Nub did a very great video showcasing the 2 of them together in Arena. I just don't think that that's something that I personally want to do, is run the 2 of them together. But maybe that's good enough. Like, maybe that's a little meta team that we can make, okay? And then the passive here, I don't know how well this is. Like, it's cool, and especially if you have Kaja there with the provoke, that's really good synergy. But again, like, you're jumping through so many hoops, okay, in order to make this strategy work, that I think it would be better off to just put him on a team by himself, decrease the duration of all buffs by 3 turns, and let the rest of your team actually kill them instead of messing with them. Now, maybe I'm wrong on that, okay? But this ability is unique. He's the only one. And then we have, like, Andrysia, you know, shout out to Deadwood Jedi for the faction games, where I used her in my team a year ago. I said how awesome she was back then. She still is. She never really got adopted into the meta, but maybe by Timit coming into the game, that will highlight how good she is as well. In some regards, she's better than him, but he does get the 3 turns, which is good. And I think that this ability is enough to justify doing the fusion, because I think that this is something that could be really valuable in the long term of the game. We don't know what's coming in the next update. Jay Giggs and I'm just like name dropping all over the place here. Did not mean to do that today. But Jay Giggs and I did a collab yesterday. Please go watch that about the next possible feature in the game. That is not clickbait. That is good information. And I think that this could be a plant for that future content. So for me, this is an automatic fusion to go for, okay? If I was on my free-to-play account, I would be skipping this, if I'm being honest with you. So if you don't have the resources, skip this, okay? If it's going to put you out financially to get this guy, obviously don't do that, okay? I think that that's true of any fusion. Don't, like, stress your life out about raid. It's a game. It's meant to be fun. I enjoy doing fusions, so I'm going to keep doing all of them because I like them. If I have a reason not to do it, like life or money or time or whatever it is, then I'm going to skip it. If I was on my free-to-play account, I would be trying to do 3, 4, 5 fusions per year. Not all of them. I'd be trying to do about half of the fusions per year on the free-to-play. Save up resources and then skip one, save up resources and then do the next one, or skip 2. You know what I mean? Especially because there's going to be events that you want to pull shards for. So fusions are very good. I recommend going for as many of them as possible. But Timit, I don't think he's going to be a game changer. And you can always just hop right over into your amazing high elves, which keeps getting better and better. Still, I guess, one of my favorite factions in the game. Go get yourself an Andrysia out of the Void Shards, right? Pull your Voids on the Void 2x. Eventually, hopefully, you'll get an Andrysia. Maybe they'll put her on a 2x. You know, or a 10x? Yeah, 10x during the 2x. Whatever the case might be. If you get a copy of her, like, she's still really good. So if you skip this fusion and you have her, you're kind of set. So that's my thoughts. I know I was kind of long-winded on that, but I know that people wanted to hear it. Okay, let's jump into the fusion breakdown, which I hope is going to be very valuable for you guys. All right, as you can see right under me here, there's a total of 130 shards. Ignore that, okay? We want to pay attention to 55 and 55. Most people never get those 20 from the leaderboards, and now they're putting less and less to make it harder on the whales, I guess. I don't know. That seems like nonsense to me, Plarium. Like, every tournament should go back to having the fragments, and then it entices people to go all in. Right? It's just like, I don't know. I don't understand you guys sometimes. So anyway, you have 10 points that you can skip, aka 2 5-point events, right? Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to break this down in 3 phases, as you see on the screen here. I have myself a little bit smaller on the camera today, so I can fit in a little bit better. But you're going to have your shard pulls, and then 3 different phases, and that's going to get you your 100 points, okay? So, what am I talking about here? This is how my mind works every time we have a fusion. Number 1, can I skip pulling shards? For this event, no, definitely not. You cannot skip. You need those points. I highly doubt that you're going to be able to... I mean, I guess you could skip the upper portion of like the champion chase tournament, but that's 2x sacreds, okay? You can't, I don't know, you can't really skip the summon rush today. Like that's not gonna be viable. You're gonna, if you're pulling shards today, you're gonna get to the 15 fragments. So I don't think that either of these are skippable because of the layout, right? They changed the order of the shard events so that they could have sacreds. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments. On the one hand, is it kind of scummy? Yes. On the other hand, that gave us an extra 2 weeks to save sacred shards for this purpose. And I know I've gotten a bunch of sacred shards this week from Clan Boss, okay? I did end up buying a couple because those ghost offers are fire. But the sacred shards, have been coming for me in Clan Boss, and if they're not coming for you for your Clan Boss, then you just need to be patient. They will, okay? But I don't think either of those are skippable, and if you think that they're skippable, then you probably shouldn't do this fusion. That's my opinion, and that's how I see it. But also, I do tend to have more shards than people, so my perspective on that differs a little bit. But even if I was on my free-to-play account, I would be trying to get all of the points for both of those. That's what I would be doing. Next one, phase 1 here, okay? All of these go together, and finally, Plarium started Dungeon Divers at the same time as the first tournament. Thank you. Please do that every time. I hate it so much when, like, Spider starts and Dungeon Divers starts the next day, and I have to do nothing. And then some people start their Spider tournament, and then they're like, oh, crap. I just missed out on my Dungeon Diver points, right? But all of these 4 events go together. Between all 4 of these, you should max out this Dungeon Divers event. But that also means you can just get the minimum requirements on all of them, okay? Now, the champion training does have good rewards as per usual. I think if you want good rewards in this game, you should just love champion training or be willing to do it. And that's what I'm going to be doing all day today. I'm going to set my RSL helper to auto, and I'm going to go to basketball. I'm going to coach up some little kids on some basketball skills, and I'm going to be running champion training today. Now, you also have the Dragon Tournament, which will overlap on Dungeon Divers. So all of those together are going to work really, really well, and I group them into phases like this when I am thinking about the fusion, okay? So hopefully that's helpful to you. If you like this kind of logic, let me know. I do try to do fusion calendar videos from time to time, but oftentimes it just takes me so long to set this up because I have a high standard of what I want it to look like and the quality, and no offense to other content creators who want to do their own thing, but this is the quality that I expect from me. So if you appreciate that, tell me during the next fusion is coming up, hey, please do the fusion calendar video. Just like send me a message in Discord or like put it in the comments. I just don't know how many of you actually care about this stuff. I really don't. I know some of you appreciate it, but I don't know how important it is to you guys. So phase 2 here is a little all over the place, so stick with me, okay? Phase 2 is all of your little things that you're obviously going to do. You have to do both the classic arena tournaments. Those are the easiest ones. Excuse me. Hold on a second. All right, I got most of the coughing cut out, but apologies there. So, I think the main one to skip here is Ice Golem. And the reason why has nothing to do with the dungeon itself. It's just because Ice Golem is in the middle. Right? They should have just pushed back Ice Golem so that it would overlap with Dungeon Divers too. There's only 2 Dungeon Divers, which I think is really nice. Most of the fusions have been having 3 Dungeon Divers, and that's been very, very challenging. So in a certain sense, this fusion is a little bit easier, but also it's not. Also, you have to pull for both shard events, so that makes it automatically not easier. All right, so if it were up to me, the way that I would recommend doing this fusion is skipping Ice Golem and skipping one of the Artifact Enhancement events. Artifact Enhancement events are either ridiculously easy or super hard, and there's usually no middle ground. For me, they're super easy because I farm a lot. I have tons of silver. I like enhancing artifacts. So I'm going to farm and then I'm going to level up and I'm going to probably do all 3. Just because I have tons of stuff that I want to level up right now, which is actually weird for me. But for most players, I don't recommend that. It's stressful trying to get the silver on free-to-play accounts particularly. So like if it on my free-to-play, I'd be skipping the middle one. Because during the first one, you're going to have all the silver from phase 1. And then during the third one, you're going to have all the silver from phase 3. So I would probably skip the 2 middle things here, the Ice Golem and Artifact Enhancement 2. That's what I would skip for this fusion, but you have to skip what makes sense for you. If you're going to have the energy for the Ice Golem tournament, go do it. Then you could skip 2 Artifact Enhancements if you wanted to. You know what I mean? You could skip Artifact Enhancement 1 and 2 and save up all the silver and just do Artifact Enhancement 3. Personally, I don't like saving the last events and tournaments for ones that I need to do. So if I'm going to skip something, I usually skip the last things. So if I was running low on silver, me personally, I would skip Artifact Enhancement 3 if I was able to do back-to-backs on 1 and 2, because the longer you push it off, the harder it's going to be. Like, you don't want to be in a spot where, oh, I accidentally forgot one of the tournaments or events. And then you get to the end and you're like, well, I don't have anything left. If you save ones at the end, then you have the option to get fragments that you missed and sort of like catch up. That's the only catch-up mechanic that exists, okay? Now, I want to mention one thing at the end before we go into the shards about not doing the whole fusion. I was talking to my buddy Liam about that, so hopefully I remember and get back to that. If not, ask me about it in the comments. Phase 3 is Champion Training, Fire Knight, and Dungeon Divers 2. All of those go together, and I would not start the Champion Training until Dungeon Divers starts. You have to do both. So if you need to expend some energy, like your daily energy on Champion Training, do that. But don't use any stored or extra resources until Dungeon Divers 2 starts. And I put a special star down there for the Artifact Enhancement 3 because I think that that's the one that's going to screw people here. It's the last event, and some people are going to forget to do it. So don't let that be you. It's the last thing, you know. You'll get the arena one. It's easy, right? Up there, right below Fire Knight. But the Artifact Enhancement 3, I feel like that one is, you shouldn't rely on that, okay? And then all of that will add up to our 100 fragments. 30 from the mandatory Sacred Shard pulls, 30 from Phase 1, 20 from Phase 2, 20 from Phase 3, gets us to 100. Either way, no matter what you're doing, just remember that you have 2 5-point events, or technically 1 10-point event, there's only one of those, that you can skip, okay? You have 2 skippable events that are 5 fragments each. Hopefully that breakdown was good for you. Now, there are some of you who are going to get some fragments just for doing stuff. Keep in mind that if you get 50, 60, 70 fragments, you might be able to finish the fragments in a future Christmas, like, here's your extra fragments for old champions. And that is a strategy that Chosen broke down a couple months ago or something. I think that that might be viable for some of us who don't really want to get the champion, but also want to do stuff in the game. So don't stop at like 40 fragments, because then none of those will pop up for you. If you want to do some of this fusion, try to get up into the 70 fragment range. Like, do a bunch of stuff, and then whatever you can't do, don't do. Okay, so that is one option. Now, that was a lot of information. I hope you liked that. Now I'm going to go pull my 7 Sacred Shards because I'm going for minimum requirements here. So I only need 7. I think that people should not go overboard with Sacred Shards. I'm actually still saving primals. I've never pulled them in a video yet, other than that, like, very first day where we got those free ones. So eventually, I'm going to pull those primal shards. Today is not that day. We're pulling 7 Sacred Shards because that's the most efficient use of your resources, all right? Now, on the 10X, I would be hoping for none of these champions, okay? I'll just be honest with you. I don't need any of these champions, so probably I'll get the 10x. We did pull a bunch of them last night on stream, Mighty Ukos. But even if I get no legendary here, wait, 25 minus 7 is 18. Okay. I have to mentally keep track, otherwise I will definitely forget. But the point is, I honestly don't care. I would obviously love an amazing legendary here, but my expectations are pretty low, which is why I put this at the end of the video, okay? Most likely I'm going to get all epics, and it's not going to be a crazy awesome shard pull video. So, you know, I mean, I guess I could go like back to back here or like 3 legendaries in a row or something crazy, but it's very unlikely. Now, if you want the epics on this 10x, 10x's are really good for epics. They are, okay? And we have one last shard here to get a legendary, and then we have a bunch of shards for next week. All epics. Oh! Lady Quillen! That's actually amazing! Okay, great. Who was it? Decreer or Chronic or somebody last night on stream was saying they also didn't have their Lady Quillen. So hopefully you got your Lady Quillen, because that is the last champion I needed to complete this fusion. We have Delajo. We have... Oh, I don't have a duplicate of her. I don't care. I'll probably just sacrifice her and try to get another one. Same thing with her. They're 60s, but I never, like, invested in them. Then we have that one. That one. Yes. He's 60 also, but I don't like him, so I don't care. And then there's the Lady Quillen. Let's go. And then, do I have an extra copy of Lockwayne? No. Do I have the rares? No, I don't have the rares. Oh, I actually really want this mythical fusion. All right, I lied. Let's just do like 2 10 pulls of Ancients. Yeah, let's do 2 10 pulls of Ancients and try to get Trugor and Lumberer, who I've had a billion copies of, but obviously I don't have them right now. Since I got Lady Quillen, let's do 2 10 pulls. Yeah, I have space. Alright, so that's my basketball alarm. We want... Oh, that's not the right one. We got 2 of him! That's bullcrap. None of those are the ones that I need, right? I already forget who the second one is. Trugor is the first one. Or I could get the copy of the Epic. Okay, no. Well, I don't want to pull too many shards. I don't want to go too deep, because then that's going to make me want to keep going. So, just for the record, here's where we're at with the Summon Rush. I'm not, like, hiding anything from you. I recommend going for the 3,500, because that's a lot of Halloween points. And the resources in the Halloween thing are actually good. They're not really easy to get, but they're good. So let's come up here and see where we're at. We got the Harvest Jack avatar. Yeah, let's go change it to Harvest Jack. The 100 Superior Oil is legit. And then, what? I'm 5 points short here? Jeez. I kind of wish I would have paid a little bit more attention to this stuff so I could get up to the Eternal. But I got the 4-star Monkey Soul, and that's the most important thing. Like, this screen is really good. And then if you get up here, this is good. Stop putting the 5-star chickens up here, Polarium. Stop it. This should be over here somewhere. I don't even, like replace the... I don't even know. It shouldn't be on the last screen. It's a 5-star chicken. No one cares. Alright, for the next couple days, don't buy this. This is garbage. Polarium way overvalues gems and silver. This should be $30. If this was $30, I would be saying no. $30 is like what I would consider like normal, like reasonable. If this was $20, I would be saying, oh, bro, go get that. Don't get that. Alright, for Halloween, let's change the avatar. We'll be Harvest Jack. I like that. I like that. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'm MtgJedi. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. This turned into a kind of a long video. Thank you to my wife who is allowing me to do this right now. She's watching the baby. And I appreciate you guys. Have a great one. Hit the like button and tell me all your thoughts in the comments below.